Welcome to the Jali Podcast. I'm your host, Melyssa Barrett. This podcast is for those who are interested in the conversation around equity, diversity, and inclusion. Each week, I'll be interviewing a guest who has something special to share or is actively part of building solutions in the space. Let's get started. Welcome to the Jali Podcast, where culture, history, and community intersect through powerful stories. Today, I have the absolute honor of welcoming a true force for literacy, representation, and cultural education, Tamara Shiloh. Tamara is an author, speaker, entrepreneur, and unapologetic champion of inclusive history. She's the creative mind behind a powerful series of spotlighting African American inventors, scientists, and trailblazers, beginning with Jaxon's Magical Adventure with Black Inventors and Scientists, and Jaxon and Kevin's Black History Trip Downtown. She's also the author of Cameron Teaches Black History, published by Scholastic. Tamara doesn't just write books, she writes history into our daily consciousness. Through her weekly Black History column for the Post newspaper, her podcast, Once Upon a Time in Black History, and her daily newsletter, she brings awareness, knowledge, and pride into homes and classrooms across the country. She is the founder of Just Imagine Kids, a nonprofit that delivers after-school and summer programs in Black and Hispanic Latinx history, STEAM, and literacy. And she's also built a professional development curriculum for educators to bring inclusivity into American history lessons year-round. If that wasn't enough, she owns and operates the Multicultural Bookstore in Richmond, California, and Las Vegas, Nevada, two vibrant spaces filled with stories that reflect the beauty and diversity of our communities, from Black and Brown narratives to books on disability, LGBTQIA+ voices, STEAM, and social justice. And as if that wasn't enough, she's even building a micro school that centers Black history, language, culture, and literacy for K through 6 students, offering everything from AI and STEAM to gardening and home economics. Tamara's work is thoughtful, powerful, and deeply rooted in legacy building, and I cannot wait for you to hear more. Please help me welcome the phenomenal Tamara Shiloh. So I am excited every week to talk to just amazing, amazing people. And Tamara Shiloh is with me this week. She is another amazing, amazing person. Had the pleasure of meeting her through the producer of my podcast, the Jali Podcast, and they are Pro Audio Voices. So shout out to Becky Geist and Carlos and all the team over at Pro Audio Voices. And I am just excited to have you here because you have really just dedicated your life to storytelling, education, and really empowering minds through history. I mean, it kind of bleeds out of you, which is so exciting for me. But I'm interested in finding out like what kind of sparked your passion for Black history and multicultural literacy, because we can talk about how we have to defend it now, but what sparked your interest in doing it?
Wow. Well, I'm going to give you the short version because we could be here all day because there were a lot of things that well, not happened, but at any rate, it was an email that I received now. Oh my gosh, time flies, right? 25 years ago, I guess. And it had a list of people, Black inventors and scientists. And so okay, at first I didn't believe it, right? I don't know. I didn't know any of those names on that list. And so I went to the library to see if there were any books or anything. And actually there were a few. And I was totally shocked, right? And then I got kind of angry because why don't I know these people and my children? Sure, certainly they don't know them. And my grandson was yeah, he didn't know them either. And so I decided to write a children's book right there. I had been dabbling with Microsoft Publisher and making a few pamphlets for friends of mine. So I decided, okay, I'll write a book. And then after I saw how many people there would be in the book, I knew it would be about 5 or 6 inches thick, and a kid's not going to read that. And that's when I decided to write a series. And so actually the series were little pamphlets because well, they were books to me, but they were actually pamphlets. And because I didn't know anything about publishing or any of that world, I just did my own little thing, right? And I actually did okay. I wrote 5, and I did okay because folks weren't so much caring about the aesthetics or how it looked, and they were more interested in the information. Fast forward, I don't know what year it was, 2017, 16. I joined BEPA.
Okay.
Yes, and that was a remarkable experience. The first day, I had never known what overwhelm meant. I experienced it that day. It was so much information that I didn't know I didn't know.
Yes.
It was, oh my God, such an eye opener. And so then I was on a mission. I never missed a meeting for a year. I was there every month because it was so much to learn, and you didn't feel like a dummy asking dumb questions, right? Because
Right.
more times than not, whenever any question was asked, somebody in the room needed that information as well. And there were people from all walks of life in the publishing industry: illustrators, printers, authors, graphic design folks. So it was nice. And so that's where it all began. And then the other things came out of all of that, right? So
And
teaching
BEPA is Bay Area Publishing.
independent
Okay.
independent publishers association.
Okay. I
Yeah.
knew there was another word,
Yeah.
another
BAIPA.
yes, excellent. Okay. That's great because I think community is so needed for us to nurture our gifts and make sure that we know the business. Because I think sometimes when people go into their own business, they think I mean, they have to know so much, but you're always learning. So that's phenomenal.
Yes, yeah. In this business, Black history, because there's always something that comes up. Someone will send an email and let me know something, or there'll be a post somewhere, and oh my gosh. I mean, when I think about it, it's just so incredible how they just think we don't need to know this. But
Yeah.
I get it. I certainly know why. And they are absolutely right. Right, because all our knowledge and wealth, yeah, we could run this country a heck of a lot better than what's being done right now. So,
No doubt. No doubt. Well, and you spend so much time in kind of education. So how did that come about? Because I think you have your own curriculum, and let me just say, you have Black history, Hispanic, Latinx history. You do professional development classes for educators. Aside from like your own podcast, your own bookstore, I mean, you kind of are a busy woman. How did this all come about when, as you're thinking in education, because I mean, obviously there's a lot of classes that don't have Black history in it.
right.
And so how did that happen? Your focus on the classroom curriculum.
Well, I'm not a credentialed teacher, but I know teachers. And when I do book signings, author book signings, there would be teachers there. And so the discussion would come up about, wow, I didn't know this. It would be nice if I could teach my students this information. And so, you hear it enough times and you have all the information. You just need it, to create something that the teachers can use. And so one thing kind of led to another. So I did start writing my own curriculum and then teaching after school and in the summer. what I still do. And then I thought, okay, wouldn't it be, no, I did a new teachers, um, what do they call it? New teachers uh, classes right before school started a few years ago. And
Yep.
so I created a PowerPoint just to kind of show them the resources out there for them to go and find information. And after each one of those classes, the teachers were like, we could use a little more information. Like, how do you really put this into a lesson plan? And I thought about it and I thought, okay, I could do that. So I did. But it's been hell getting it into the classrooms, right? Because they don't want to pay me for educating the teachers. And then some of the teachers will say, they don't have time. And so I know what that's all about. So here recently, trying to get around that because a lot of teachers actually do want to teach Black history. And because I have all these lesson plans that I've created for myself, I decided to bump them up a bit, make them more powerful, more information. Um, and we created our own little videos. So we have about 10 of the about 18 lesson plans that have my actual videos on them, which are really cute. They're just 2 or 3 minutes long, but about whoever we're talking about. So anyway, so now I said, okay, well, why don't I just create lesson plans that the teachers can use? They don't have to do anything. I've done everything for them, the person, their picture, their invention, their bio, Bloom's discussion questions, vocabulary definitions. It has quizzes, games. I mean, all they have to do is use what I've given them. So, and I send out a free one first so they can see what they're paying for. Because you don't really have to pay for lesson plans. They're all over the internet. However, not what I've done, and all in one package. And that was the whole point. It's like I wanted to make sure that first it was easy to use, and it is, and everything is just right there. So I just
Awesome.
did that recently, actually. So I'll send you the lesson plan that I send to everyone so you can see.
That's
It was
awesome.
just a need. Just
Yeah.
you saw there's a need. And I believe that if children learn the good stuff first about the inventors and scientists who helped build this country, I think it won't be so dramatic to hear about slavery and civil rights and all that because they'll already know how great we are, right? So,
Right.
yeah, so it won't be so devastating and they won't be so angry, you
Now,
know?
what age groups do you focus on?
Well, I
Or
focus on
grade
elementary.
levels?
However, the lesson plans are scalable because, for one, I don't care what grade they're in, they haven't been taught this information, right?
Yeah.
So most of it can be used for any group. I would say the quizzes probably have to bump them up a bit, and maybe the vocabulary, but from what I'm seeing with these kids, even high school, they could use those same vocabulary words. Okay. I mean, it is very scalable. And when they see it, they can see how, oh, okay, they just add a word or two, or, I mean, it's not hard. So,
Yeah. That's great. Well, and I just went to I had the pleasure of going to a, a discussion on and a documentary that we watched on evidence-based instruction. And I
oh,
was surprised how many teachers were like, I went through 4 years of college learning how to be a teacher, and I came out and I didn't know how to do evidence-based instruction. And so they're doing a cohort here in my area to teach that to teachers, which is awesome. I mean, they
yeah,
get a stipend and all kinds of stuff. So it's really cool. But I think there are so many schools, and even now we see such a focus on removing books, banning books, kind of erasing a lot of history. How are you dealing with that? I mean, you own the Multicultural Children's Bookstore in Richmond, California, and Las Vegas, Nevada.
right.
How is that impacting? I mean, bookstores themselves are, I think, challenging in terms of the business model these days. How are you all focusing on that, and how does it relate to your focus on multicultural literacy?
Well, contrary to belief, the government can't control what you buy. Okay. And they cannot erase history. That if there's anything that's impossible, that is. Yesterday was history. Okay. I mean, you can't erase history. Even the thought of that. I mean, for some intelligent people to even say that, that's crazy. And banned books, when they first got banned, we saw a ton of them. Okay, because people wanted to know, well, why the heck is this book banned? So they would buy them to read them. And folks found out how ridiculous that whole thing was or is. We just kind of move on. I don't deal with that. It's like it like you said, having a bookstore is challenging as it is, right? So,
Mhm.
if anything, like I said, doing that big push for not uh, selling banned books, we all sold banned books, right? I mean, yeah, so made the negative positive, if you
Good.
will. And so you just try to figure out how to turn things around. Like I said, Black history, trying to get rid of it, that's insane. I mean, it's just, but the thing is, a lot of folks have jumped on that bandwagon. So you just don't deal with them. And like I said, since I couldn't get the principals or the districts to buy my professional development class, and I reach out to teachers with the lesson plans that they can purchase and do on their own. And you just find a workaround, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all that's going on, even just last week, he announced, or somebody did, that they're not funding any more after school programs. I'm like, are you serious? And then I said, hold up, y'all, we got millions of philanthropic organizations and people who would be more than happy to help what we're doing. So, I mean, yes, it's going to take a little work to find them, but that doesn't, all is not lost. That just means we have to work a little harder
Yeah.
and work together a little better than what we do too, right?
That part, work
Yeah,
together
yeah,
part. That's a big part for sure.
yes, it is.
So that's awesome. And so I do want to ask you, because I know you do a lot with just educating people on Black history itself, I should say. It's not, I mean, we are history,
Yeah,
American history.
right, exactly.
But I know you try to bring out things that people may not know about, whether it's Black history or Hispanic history. And you also have your own book that you wrote, Jackson's Magical Adventure, and it's like a series, right?
Right, I have two.
So tell me about how that came to be, and what are you hoping people take away from those books? Let's pause for a moment. We'll be right back.
Well, Jackson's Black History Adventure. Okay, the first one. The books are all themed. So this one was about going around the house discovering what Black people either invented or improved. And I did themes, and I would use inventors and scientists that people can relate to, that children can relate to, using, because we've done so much. Some of it I can't even explain as an adult because, I mean, those scientists with those long, yeah, right, what they
Yeah.
did, and the young man that created the camera to look into space, I mean, um, it just, I wanted folks to understand how how much we did for this country. So when I was thinking about writing the books, it was making sure that I found those inventions or creations that we could relate to. And at the time, it was that the kids could relate to as well. And so I build a story around, no, I find the inventors around the story if I can. So, like I said, everyone is themed. So the second one is about him and his cousin going downtown. So as they're walking downtown, they can see all the other things that Black people have either created or improved. And so then there's women, then there's Black cowboys, then there's aviation, and then the arts, um, sculptors, artists, that, and then music. Music will be um, uh, composers, opera singers, not the music that our children aren't accustomed hearing a Black person had anything to do with, like Beethoven or Bach. And we were doing things during the same time, and they knew some of the Black musicians and composers back then. So it's just when you talk about things that people can relate to, a dustpan, a mop, a refrigerator, a light bulb, they know those things, right? Um, I do sometimes talk about microbiologists and astronauts. I mean, because they're important. Oceanographer, first of all, I had never even heard that word before. When I found Evan Ford, I'm like, okay, oceanographer. And the other thing is to also remind them that these are careers that they might never would have thought about trying to pursue. When they know a Black person has done everything, then there are no limitations just because they don't see them. We are doing everything and have done everything and are still doing everything. Yep. So,
Yeah, I love it. And representation is so important.
oh my goodness, yes.
I mean, I still remember my husband telling me when he went to the bookstore for the first time and he saw a Black person on the cover of the book. And he just was like, I mean, that opened his desire to just read and experience the language of the book. And, it was, and he went on to be a professional storyteller, which was kind of oral tradition focused, but I mean, he understood the importance of literacy and reading and really expanding access to learning. So I think it's phenomenal what you're doing. As if you don't have enough to do, I know you're also working on launching a micro school.
That's right. Nia Academy. We're going to start this August, and it'll be a K through 6, but we're going to start K first grade first. Get our feet wet and see what interest there is. If it's overwhelming, we may just change our mind and add a few more grades, but it's all for the same reason. Our children aren't getting educated, and every year there's a reason. And so next year they'll look at it and, oh my gosh, it's been what, 50 years? We still waiting. And we decided, hey, enough is enough. I'm sick and tired of waiting. So we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we decided to do that, and we're looking forward to it. It should be fun. And we're gonna have a really robust after school and Saturday school for those grades that we aren't servicing during the day, during the week, and to help children with their math and reading comprehension, because that's the biggest problem our children have, right? So, and
Well,
just
and if,
the bookstore, that's why all our books are face forward.
uh-huh.
So when kids, and it's an adult, we took the children's off, by the way. So it's just a multicultural bookstore and
Okay.
kids, but all our children's books are face forward. So when they walk in, right, they have the same experience that your husband had, right? Because they get so excited to see themselves on the cover. It's just so amazing. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. But I know with your school, I think you said, if I remember correctly, you have a curriculum that is also going to focus on Black history, language, and culture.
Exactly. That's the theme of our school. All children are welcome, but they have to know on Fridays they'll be wearing dashikis.
I love it.
So we're going to teach Swahili and Spanish, and the curriculum will align with the California standards,
Mhm.
the math, the English, and all that. But then, like I said, we will be infusing, like you said, Black history, Black culture, and Black language, because we can.
Yes, I love it. I mean, because I think a lot of times there's such a focus on one thing or one story. And I love the fact that you're bringing in different perspectives. I remember talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about something in California. I don't even remember now, but they are Mexican, and they were like, "Well, before it was California, it was Mexico." And so he started giving me more history, and I said, sometimes we don't think about the true history
Right.
of just because a line changed does the history is still there. And
Exactly.
so I love the fact that you focus so much on this, because I think you also create a bingo game, if I remember right.
I did tell you. Oh my gosh. Oh, I wish, yes. Oh my goodness. I've taken it to the next stage. It's actually being professionally manufactured now.
Oh, well, nice.
A guy in Las Vegas, he and his wife, they have a game. And I went to visit Carol last month. Was it last month? A month before last. Anyway, and they were there because they have a picture. I mean, they have a game that they want to put in the bookstore. And so they've been talking to Carol for about 6 months getting that done. And when I visited, I was talking to her, and I had taken, I went for an event, and I created the historic West Side bingo game, right? So we could take it with her to the event that we were going to the next day. Anyway, he was there, and he was like, "Oh my God!" He said, "Well, do you have a logo? Do you have a name?" And I'm like, "No. I mean, yeah, just what you see, right?" And so he took it and ran with it, and so I have a logo. The name is Imagine Bingo. And it is the cutest. He just yesterday he said, "Okay, here's the cover." I'm like, "Oh man!" But I've still been selling what we did initially, right? Because I mean, every time I do something, I've created a bingo card for it, right? I mean, it's just so much fun. Yeah. So yeah, so we did baby's first bingo, baby's ABCs, lowercase letters, ABCs, capital letters. We have babies, the animals, and we have fruits and vegetables. Okay. And then, so we have one for health and wellness, and Black women in history, Hispanic women in history, Asian and Filipino women in history. And, Richmond history, but it's only the Black folks, which, honest to God, I did not mean to do that. It was so funny, but I was on a mission, I guess. And so I'm going to do another one to be inclusive, if you will. Right.
Yes, yes.
Right. Someone pointed it out to me. I hadn't even paid attention to the fact that the only thing on the Richmond history game were all Black people.
Well, this is how we create the inclusion,
Well,
right?
yeah, it
That's
was
awesome.
funny. So yeah, girl, yeah, we're on a mission. It's gonna be bingo. And wait, have you ever heard of Ebonyopoly?
No.
I told that guy, he said they've been in business for 5 years. I'm like, I don't get it. One, I own a bookstore, and we get stuff all the time. And two, it's a Black bookstore. And he advised me that you can't buy the game in Amazon. You can only buy it at Black bookstores. And so he was calling because he actually thought I was in Las Vegas, and was to ask if he could put the game in my store. I'm like, of course you can, right? And so they're actually touring with the game. It's a big deal
Oh,
in certain
awesome.
areas, right?
Yes.
Ebonyopoly.
Ebonyopoly.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, I will definitely check it out.
Yeah. And I will I'll send you, let's see, where do you live, Tracy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not far from you. I'm gonna make
All
it
right.
out there to Richmond though.
Okay. We have open mic on the 25th if you want to come out.
Okay.
That's a Sunday, 3:30 to 5:30.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. The 25th of May.
Yeah, this is a Saturday, right? I mean, a Sunday.
I'm not looking at a calendar,
Well,
but
I am.
yes. Yes.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. So Sunday, May 25th, you're doing a
Open mic.
I open mic. Well, I don't know if I'll be on the mic, but
Oh no,
is
no,
it?
you don't have to. No, it's just a fun thing we do for the community. You know, we have authors, we have singers, we have dancers, we have poets, spoken word folks. I've sometimes read little pieces from my book.
Nice.
That's you get your 5 minutes of glory. You know, do whatever you want. And we serve food and we have drinks and yeah, it's just a fun time for a couple hours.
And tell us where you're located.
260 Broadway in Richmond. We're near Civic Center, the library. So you can find us. I know Broadway is 27th and McDonald. So
Okay.
yeah, pretty centrally located. We're behind the Bay Area Girls Club facility, but I think they'll be happy once they come through the gate. We have a lovely patio, a gazebo, and a big yard for the kids to play in if they want, grassy. Yep.
I love it. Family friendly. So
Yes. Yes.
bring a friend. Bring a friend,
Yes.
as I
Bring a
say.
friend.
I
Absolutely.
love it. So tell me, I mean, and I know we're probably gonna run up on time, so I want to be respectful of your time. As a business owner, advocate for multicultural literacy, and I hope people take away, like, you are multifaceted. And I thought I was busy. People tell me I'm busy all the time. I'm like, I don't think so. But I think the yardstick is different. I don't know. So I look at people like you and I was like, man, I'm a slacker.
Yeah.
Um, so as an entrepreneur, I mean, what's one of the biggest lessons you've learned along your journey, whether it be as an author, an entrepreneur, business owner, an advocate, whatever? Is there some major lesson that you've learned along the way?
I think planning is really important. Instead of just jumping into something because it's what you want to do and it's cool and you think people love it and all that. I think planning is key. You really have to know who your customers are. Where are they? Are they in your city? Who do you think is going to keep your doors open? And find all the resources out there. See, I didn't know, and I'm only recently learning about all the resources that small businesses have. Actually, this is Small Business Week, I think nationwide, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just pay attention to that. And like I said, plan and, do get QuickBooks and do use Score, which is a free resource of everybody, retired lawyers, judges, teachers, retired folks who can help you for free. Okay. That's why they're there. I would have liked to have planned better. I would have liked to have did my homework, a little research on the business, right? Because when we opened Lala, it was wonderful. Everything was cool, right? And then I'm alone, and but that's okay because got this, right? Yeah, but there's just research whatever it is you're trying to do and find out what other people are doing in that particular, maybe not the exact business, but do a little homework first and make sure you pay yourself. And I know, and everyone that tells me that too, it's very difficult to do. But if you could pay yourself just by going to the barbershop or getting your nails done or just something for you, because if not, then it's like, dang, I'm doing all this and I can't even get my nails done, right?
Right.
So, uh, yeah, plan and take advantage of the resources that are probably right there in front of you, but you don't know what to ask. You know what I'm saying? But they're there, and I'm just tickled to death. I'm about to show up.
Yes, I
And
love it.
yeah.
So, and I'm not going to let you leave without giving us one of your favorites in history.
Oh gosh.
And I know it's a
What
lot,
else?
but just
That's
throw out one.
I'm just so amazed at the women. I mean, the men, of course, but geez, they've done so much. It's like the young lady, Alice Ball, who created the cure for leprosy. I think it was leprosy. And then she died very young, not knowing what she had created, right? I mean, a, a lot of the women, it's how we think. Marie Van Bryn Brown, because her husband and her were like ships in the night, and she was at home a lot by herself, so it was unsafe. And she was in Queens, and it was like, okay, what can I do? And she came up with the home security system. Bessie Blanc Griffin. She had created a feeding machine for soldiers who didn't have arms. And it was just incredible that her mind went there. And Bessie Coleman, that kid, she wanted to fly airplanes.
Yeah.
And the United States wouldn't give her a pilot's or let her go to school. So she had to go to France. But she did. And
Yeah.
oh my gosh, yeah. So we do so much as women. You don't get a lot of hoorahs.
Credit.
We do,
Yeah.
and it's a lot. I'm kind of biased for the women. Sorry.
Well, we've had a
Guys have
lot.
done incredible things too. Don't get me wrong, because
Yeah.
and some of the stuff that they done, it was like sometimes I look at Tiger Wood and I go, you know what? Somewhere in your 20 some years, you should have been talking about Dr. George Brand and that golf tee somewhere in something that you said, right?
Yes. Yes.
That was major for the golf world to invent a golf tee, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Well, and I love all the history. I think I just did a podcast with Emmanuel Waters, who owns Old Hillside Bourbon, and they are doing a whole series on the women that were jockeys back then and their journey. It's really awesome. Just
Okay. What did you say? What's the
Old Hillside Bourbon Company.
Old Hillside Bourbon? Well,
Yes.
guess what?
What?
My upcoming fundraiser for my nonprofit is going to be bourbon and barbecue.
What? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to connect y'all.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah.
Because we were kind of focused on Uncle Nearest, right? And
Uh-huh.
so we would love
Yes.
to have this also.
Yes. And Emmanuel's close by. So he
He's
might
here?
just show up. Yeah, he's in the South Bay. Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So
Yes.
I will connect you. See, this is what happens on air.
That's exactly
We
right.
connect. We
I always
connect.
tell my friends that networking thing that you didn't want to go to, and you did go, every time you're going to learn something that you didn't know or meet somebody that you didn't know. And every time it happens,
That's right. That's right.
you know,
No, he's awesome. I'm sure you guys will appreciate each other.
oh, cool.
Yes, absolutely. So tell us before you leave. I know you gave your address for the
260
open mic,
Broadway. Oh, yeah, 260 Broadway in Richmond.
but also tell people how they can purchase your books or get connected with you.
Okay, the it's the Multicultural Bookstore and Gifts, and we have books for adults and babies, social justice, all the genres, most of them, and of course all the cultures: Hispanic, Asian, South Asian, Native American, African American, and we have a website, multiculturalbookstore.com. And if you don't find it on the multiculturalbookstore.com, you can go to bookshop.org and then find your support. On the left-hand side, it says support a bookstore, and put your zip code or something, because I think we're probably your closest anyway. And you'll see my logo, and you can buy books there also if we don't have it in our store. Yeah. So, and the email is multiculturalbookstore@gmail.com. And our phone number is 510-322-4781. We're open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 10 until 5. And on Tuesday and Wednesday, you can make a personal appointment to come into the bookstore on your own.
Fantastic. I love this. I love it. So With that being said, I just want to ask if you could have anything in the world when it comes to education nowadays, what would it be? What can you leave us with?
They would be teaching ethnic studies when the child hits kindergarten.
I love it.
All through their career, learning about all people. I think it will make such a big difference.
Such a big difference.
Yeah.
I totally agree, especially as we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. We got folks scrubbing websites and taking words out and all of that, but guess what? We're still diverse and we still need equity and inclusion. So
Right. Yes. And we're
So-
going to get it.
oh yes. Oh yes. Well, thank you so much for
Well-
all you do. Like I said, I feel like a slacker because every time I talk to you or I see something about you, I'm like, wow, she don't have enough to do.
And that's my husband too.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, it's phenomenal. I mean, your entrepreneurship, your legacy, the impact you're creating, the school. I mean, it's just amazing all of the things that you're doing. And I want to just thank you for what you do in the world because
Well-
it definitely makes it a better place. And I'm all about the Kwanzaa principles.
Right.
And so I'm excited to see what happens next. And I look forward to seeing the school open in August.
Okay. And you're coming here for something.
Yes.
Bourbon and barbecue would be nice. It's the end of June, the last Saturday in June, but I'll make sure you have the info.
We are definitely going to make sure that we connect. I love the bourbon and barbecue idea, and I can definitely go for some barbecue. I'm like, I mean, I'm gonna drink some bourbon, but
Right.
I definitely can make sure that I'm there. So
Okay,
I'm
thank
looking
you.
forward to it.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. Thanks for joining me on the Jali Podcast. Please subscribe so you won't miss an episode. See you next week.